Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, I'm going to go over Meilin Lee from the Turning Red series. The drop rates for Meilin Lee is exactly the same as Luca Paguro, so if you're trying to get Meilin Lee, now is your opportunity because it is lucky time. Her ability description is Meilin turns into Red Panda Mei, clears surrounding Tsums when connected. The game demonstration that you're currently watching is a skill level 1 game demonstration, which I'll get into skill level 1, 2, and 3 in this video a little bit later. But first, let's get into her stats. In order to activate her ability, you're going to need to clear between 17 to 27 copies of Meilin Lee off the screen to activate her ability. This number is going to be dependent on what skill level you have her at, so it is going to vary. Her minimum score is 80 with a maximum score of 864. So for scoring, it's not that great and it's not that amazing, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend to use Meilin Lee to get a high score. But if you do want to get her to skill level 6, you'll need to get a total of 32 copies of her in the premium box. So 32 is about average, it's not on the high end and also not on the low end. Now before I get into reviewing the skill chart, if you guys are enjoying this type of content where I review Tsums, do monthly leaks, please consider subscribing to the channel, it will really help me out a lot. Alright, so let's take a look at the skill chart. If you do have Meilin Lee at skill level 1, you're going to need a total of 27 copies of her to activate her ability. And for Meilin Lee's ability, it's going to remain consistent. The only thing that's going to be different is how many Tsums that's required to activate her ability. So if you could get her to a higher skill level, you're going to be able to activate more abilities per game. So that's the idea behind it. So at skill level 1, you're going to need a total of 27 copies of her to activate the ability. But if you could get her to skill level 6, then you're only going to need 17. So every time you level her up, you're going to require 2 less to activate her ability. So essentially, if you get her skill level 6, the idea is that you're going to be able to activate more abilities per game. Alright, so let's get into it and take a look at a side-by-side comparison of all 3 of the abilities. So for skill level 1, you're going to need a total of 27 copies of Meilin Lee to activate her ability. For skill level 2, you're going to need 25. And for skill level 3, you're only going to need 23. Alright, so before I get into strategies and all that good stuff, my initial impression of Meilin Lee at skill level 1 was I was really excited. Her ability was really fun to use, and I actually got a lot of coins for skill level 1. But unfortunately, that excitement started to taper off as I didn't see an increase in coin earnings as I level up Meilin Lee. And you guys are going to see that at the end of this video when I showed you all of the results for these 3 gameplays. It was a little bit disappointing. But anyways, let me get into the ability and how to use her effectively, and maybe you guys could try her for yourself. So what her ability does during her animation is all of the screen, or not all of the screen, but the Tsums on the screen that's Meilin Lee will turn into red pandas. And when you connect these red pandas together, they will form a really long chain. And also these red pandas do not need to be next to each other. They could be all throughout the screen. It doesn't matter where they are. You could always connect them. And also, in case you didn't know, all of these red pandas that show up on the screen, each of them are worth 3 Tsums. So if you connect 3 together, and only 3, you're only supposed to get 9, but the effect of the ability is that it's also going to clear surrounding Tsums as well. So whatever it's touching, it's also going to burst surrounding Tsums as well. So there's actually a good amount of strategies that you should use when you're using Meilin Lee. And the first one is that you want to make sure you have a bubble, any kind of bubble for that matter, have one on the screen before you activate her ability. Once you activate her ability and make that long chain, you want to burst one of the bubbles. By doing that, you're going to skip all of the animation and it saves you a lot of time to watch through the animation. So make sure you just have one bubble ready to go. But if you don't, you're just going to lose about 3 to 4 seconds per gameplay. Now, the second tip that I have for you is don't rush into activating her ability. Give it a little bit of time. You want to make sure there's enough Meilin Lee on the screens to turn into red pandas. You want to have at the very minimum of 8, but I would recommend somewhere around 10 or more. The reason for that is you want the entire screen to burst. So if you only have 3 red pandas on the screen, you're unlikely going to clear the entire screen. So you want to make sure that you have a bunch of Tsums on the screen before you activate the ability. So now that you heard some of the tips and tricks, let me actually show you a side-by-side comparison of the abilities activated at the same time. So here it is in full speed, but let me slow this down and show you what's actually happening. So keep an eye out on the Meilin Lee Tsums that are on the screen, and you'll notice that all of those will turn into red pandas. So for skill level 1 and skill level 2, I roughly have about 10 Meilin Lees on the screen, and actually some more are going to fall from the top. But you see skill level 2, I have more than 10, and this is going to result in additional clears or a longer chain, which will result in a lot more coins. For skill level 2, I actually have 15 Meilin Lees on the screen, so that's going to turn into 15 red pandas. So when you do 15 times 3, that's going to be 45. So automatically skill level 2 is going to be a chain of at the very minimum 45. Anything additional will be whatever it's clearing surrounding it. So let's resume here and let me show you what happens when you connect the chain. So essentially after the red pandas show up, you just need to connect them all. And another tip I have here is you don't need to connect all of the pandas. And that's something I learned at skill level 6 is once you have enough red pandas on the screen, just swipe them in a circle, and they don't all need to be connected, because keep in mind the red panda skill or the Meilin Lee skill is going to clear surrounding Tsums as well. So as long as you have some red pandas in that area and you touch them and you burst them, they're going to clear all of the Tsums off their screen. So if you are a fast player and you have a fast frame rate phone or tablet, all you need to do is just draw a circle in the center of the screen and it's going to burst all of the Tsums. So here we have all of the Tsums burst, and at skill level 1 I got a chain of 61, skill level 2 I got a chain of 76, and skill level 3 I got a chain of 71. So as you can see here, Meilin Lee's ability is very good for chains. So if you come across any of those missions that require you to make a really long chain, this is going to be the Tsum for that. And I haven't tested it yet, but Meilin Lee's ability might actually count as a big Tsum. So if you tried that already, can you comment in the box below and let me know if her red pandas count as a big Tsum or not. They might, I'm not sure yet. So overall, Meilin Lee is an amazing Tsum for skill level 1. But unfortunately, that's kind of where it stops. After skill level 1, the increase in its ability effectiveness doesn't increase either. Essentially, it's just a lot easier to activate her ability after skill level 1. So for that reason, I would overall recommend you to just get Meilin Lee to skill level 1. I definitely don't recommend you to invest your skill tickets or any of your coins to get her past skill level 1. If you are a beginner player though, Meilin Lee is a really good Tsum to have at skill level 1. You could play her and get a decent amount of coins without having to use the gyro either. So for beginners, get her at skill level 1 and that's it. Save your skill tickets and don't invest in her. But regardless, let me show you the results for these 3 gameplays. At skill level 1, I ended up with 2,246 coins. Skill level 2, I got 2,434. And at skill level 3, I got 2,558. So at skill level 1, I was really shocked. I was like, whoa, I got 2,000 coins here at skill level 1. This is really rare to have a skill level 1 Tsum to have such good coin earnings. So I was really excited about this Tsum. But as you can see, at skill level 2 and skill level 3, I only got 100 to 200 coins more, and that's very insignificant. I was hoping for a lot more, but it is what it is. And if you look at the score, it's not that amazing either. For skill level 1, I got 4.1 million. Skill level 2, I got 4.4. And skill level 3, I got 5.8. So as you can see, you wouldn't necessarily use Meilin Lee for score either. So unfortunately, Meilin Lee is only good at skill level 1. A little disappointed about that, but if you're a beginner player, get her at skill level 1 and that should be good enough. So that's my review for Meilin Lee. I hope that you guys found this video helpful or at least entertaining. And if you guys would like to see more Tsum Tsum content just like this, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching.